We're on.
All right, we are live. Fade. Bam.
Bam! Spice.
Friday. We're on time.
It's the 17th.
It's the 17th of January, 2020. 20,
Oh, yeah.
20 money.
20 money, baby. Yeah.
I'm Chris,
I'm Charlie.
and we are
8-ballin'.
8-balling. Hey, I thought of something.
For the first time.
No, I've done it before. It's rare,
Do you want a cookie?
but it's not creative. It actually is creative. This whole 8-balling thing, I just get incessant feedback that, is that about drugs?
Yes. For
You
the
know?
last time, people, if you're confused if our show's about drugs, yes, it is.
Pool balls, pool pockets, pool pocket.
Yeah, Brian pointed that out. That should be a pretty easy.
Felt,
Yeah.
railing,
Should we be holding pool cues the whole time?
inlays. Maybe we fucking need to. Maybe we need to just put a pool cue right here.
It might actually look good on the set.
It might.
We could get like a cool ass pool cue too, like one made of like a megalodon fossil or something, like a dinosaur bone.
I don't know what that is.
A megalodon is just a shark.
I'm not creative.
That's actually just knowledge. It's not necessarily have to do with innovation.
Oh, I guess I'm getting ignorant then. Okay. I've
Wait,
lost
you never heard of a
I've
megalodon?
I don't think so.
It's just like a Jurassic shark.
What is it? A
Megalodon. Largest shark to ever swim in the ocean.
I've heard of a pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl.
See? Slipping.
It's that age. Coming
It's that age. So, if we ever wanted to shake that, I thought of a good one.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that makes me want to puke. And then I was like, it really kind of makes me want to purge. I'm like, hey, we could call it the purge.
The Purge.
And you know what I thought would, if we called it the purge, you know what we could put on the little intro screen? You know when people, have you ever seen those pumpkins that they carve for Halloween? And it's puking its own
Guts up?
out?
Yeah.
Those are hilarious.
Those are funny as fuck.
Anyway, so if at some point in time we need to change that, and we still think a couple of white guys just, the world's not ready for it. Snowflakes are still too high in number.
Well, it's funny is we think that the couple of white guys would have been incendiary for the reason of it's like you have to be like, oh, it's like two white guys. Like,
Cheers to you.
Cheers. This is Red Bull. Again.
Cheers to you.
It's two in a row now.
It's still a buzz. It just happens to be unregulated.
This is more like 8-balling than that is. But, yeah. The couple of white guys thing, it's funny that we thought it would be obvious where the incendiary factor of that title comes in, where it's like 8-balling. People don't realize the obvious shit that is we're at a pool table and they like read too much into it, and they read the connotative term, which is, Coke or whatever, the connotative sense. And they're like, the obviousness goes out the window. It's reversed.
You know what? Should I put in parentheses after it? Parentheses, not spitballing?
8-balling, see, we're rebranding. You just got to stick to your guns.
No, we're playing to the midwits.
Yeah, that's even worse.
You're right. Okay, never mind. But
Yeah.
the purge. Should we get a creative hair up our
I don't
ass?
mind the purge. That's actually a good one because you could be like getting rid of all the bad shit in the world.
Yeah.
I like that.
Think about it.
It's food
You
for
guys
thought.
think about it. Maybe we'll get...
comment your favorite.
We have one comment so far.
It's probably from me.
No, it's from like a little kid.
Oh, he's like, "Hi, Chris."
That's what it is. It's not Chris. It's just like, hi, with a little icon. I'm presuming it's a kid. Hey, we're getting there, man.
We're
We got
famous.
a comment.
Fuck yeah.
We got a comment.
I've commented on these before.
You have?
Yeah.
They don't come through on...
No, they don't come through when it's live. I don't think I only comment when you do them with Brian.
Oh.
Or what you used to. Yeah.
Those still should post.
I think, they posted.
Maybe-
I don't know about.
All right, so we're going to do a little debate, kind of recap, rehash.
Well, not necessarily a debate, more like just democratic drama. Demdram.
Political drama.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So here's something funny while Chris is doing whatever he's doing.
I'm just pulling up the notes I made.
I've Googled today both Warren Bernie and Bernie Warren, just in reverse order. And the first thing that pops up on both of those is Bernie's donate thing. Bernie 2020 chip in today.
Yeah, he's got more donators
Yeah.
who don't have the money to donate, so
Yeah.
he gets like more 50-cent donations than anybody in the history of the world.
That's amazing. Huh.
Okay, that's one way to put it.
50-cent donations, really?
No, I made that up, but
Oh.
he's gotten more donations in number, or he did. I don't know, maybe the last one, and he made some respectable amount of money, and the average donation was like, I don't know, like $17 or something like that.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Which is all consistent with his whole
Yeah, his base.
spiel.
Yeah.
His debase.
I said his base.
I like debase better.
His D-base.
Freudian slip. I thought it was a Freudian slip. Or you being uncharacteristically clever.
I was going to say demographic, and then I probably switched to base.
Anyway, I interrupted you. I apologize.
It's okay. I'm used to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So more or less, we wanted to talk about Bernie Sanders, old Bernie, and Pocahontas. Elizabeth Warren. Excuse me.
Okay, so we won't do these today, but I really want to do this one, and it's really, really, really it'll be fun. Touching on plus size models.
Touching them or touching on them?
Touch on the point. But what I have in my notes is, do we have to call fatties pretty?
Yeah. What do we? I've been opposed to that since my
for
sophomore year
sure.
of college.
Look at so.
So 6 years now.
Do we want to? I don't want to do this. I want to save this one.
Let's save it.
Because we got. But just to kind of feed the minds of who might be here tonight and here when we touch that is. So I'm on a dating site, which the first time I've shared. You know it. Now the world knows it. And
Find him, ladies.
And half my pictures are like full or totally disclosed that I'm in a wheelchair. And I know for sure, I'm relatively confident that I look pretty good for 53. I get a lot of browses, a whole lot of browses, because the first thing is just your butt, a bust shot.
Your goddamn fucking Greek Adonis face.
So I got that going for me. And then I would say I get a disproportionate number of just looking and passing on the chair. And guess what? That's okay. If you're like, I don't know, or maybe I do know, or whatever, it's just a non-starter for me. It's a free fucking world. And if somebody thinks you're ugly because you have no teeth, or you got a big nose, or you're 100 pounds overweight, those are all perfectly fine.
Yeah, valid.
They're valid. People get to make their own choices.
Right. I was going to say, it doesn't really matter
So this
what
whole
it is.
thing,
Yeah.
I'm beautiful. Whether you're a fat man or a fat woman, or we're born unfortunate looking, and I'm sorry. and that sucks. And I really feel bad for some people. But
Not me.
beauty's in the eyes of the beholder.
Yeah. I
And
was just about to say that.
And it's not totally subjective. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just unfortunate. Anyway, so we'll put a pin in that.
No, I think that's a good point. I've been railing against that for a long, long time.
No, I know. And we were talking about, do we want to go into that territory? And you know what? Fuck yeah, it's time.
Everything becomes fine until it starts affecting others, right? Until it starts affecting other people, and you are changing the rules of the game in terms of whatever, capitalism or law, stuff like that. So I don't really give a shit if you want to say that you're beautiful. I'm just going to secretly think that you're not, or that you're whatever's going on.
Every human's beautiful, right?
Sure.
Every human's beautiful. Some
go
part
ahead.
of it,
Yeah.
right? I'm not saying necessarily physically.
Yeah.
But I was watching somebody on, and we're doing it. We are talking about it.
I think Michael Moore is ugly on the inside and on the outside. Just pointing that out.
I agree.
There you go.
He's a fat fucking pig hypocrite.
He's just gross.
He is gross.
That fucking just hanging off his face. Sorry.
Anyway, but he's got a sweet ass fucking mansion on Lake Charlevoix that he lost to a divorce.
I didn't know that.
You didn't? I think it's like right in the middle of the lake, maybe near Horton Bay or
Like
something.
on the south arm?
No. It's right on the main lake, and I think it's on the it would be the east side, and it's fucking huge and beautiful.
Oh.
Not huge, but probably 5,000 square feet.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll stay away from
That for tonight.
from that.
It's a good point.
Yes.
And it's kind of a fun incendiary thing to start the show on. So
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it's been an interesting week. Kick it off. I'll look at some of the shit I wrote down through the week and see if we want to go there. But I definitely have some just issues with the media, as I always do.
yeah, which is
a handful
important.
of examples.
Yeah. No, it's good.
You know, I want to get one thought out. Sorry to interrupt yet a second time. Yeah, I acknowledge it. The press. The press is just... Here's what's disappointing. I was laying in bed, literally just watching TV for a few minutes before I got out of bed. And I started thinking about the show tonight, and I started thinking about I'm going to rail on the press again. And I thought, like, in America, the press really does play a critical role in the process. They did, at least.
I would say still do, but I have a segue, so go ahead.
Watergate. Somebody brought up, well, no, the press it's fine the way it is because investigators investigate stuff, you know, and there's like professionals and that's what they do for a living. No, the press used to do that for a living too. Like Woodward and Bernstein, Watergate, right? That was not broken by lawmakers. That was broken by journalists. And journalists used to be journalists. And there were these things called investigative journalists. And that's actually what they did. And now investigative journalists are just after clickbait. Clickbait and fucking stories that are consistent with the agendas of the news show that they work for. And it's just, it's sad. Because there's not a lot of true journalism out there.
And it's really just not interesting. It's like...
There's no appetite for it.
No, and it really is just depressing to me because it's like you took this interesting thing that could be useful and then you just made it about... I guess success or whatever, or making money, or but I think that actually, if you take that standpoint, you're actually diminishing the negative effect of what they're doing, which stems from their desire to, you know, enact cultural change and advance their own political beliefs. Or I say cultural is more apt because they line up today more so than ever. But actually, I don't know if that's true more so than ever. I redact that, but retract.
I would agree with it. You know, you know what I'm gonna do? If you're a journalist and you're watching, you're driving me to drinking.
Keep going, you drink something.
That's right,
But,
fuckers.
Fuckers, yeah. That was so defeated. But that's a good lead into what we're going to talk about. So, journalists are deceptive and they're changing the minds of Americans, whether or not they mean to do it nefariously or just they're bad at their jobs.
Or just reinforcing binary cancel culture bullshit.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. The Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are having a beef right now. And it's a little bit more than a beef. Loving this. I'm fucking loving every second of it. So what? It's about a week now, maybe?
No, not even. The debate was Monday night.
No, but the story broke on Monday or Tuesday that they had this discussion.
Well, the discussion was last summer.
No, it was in December of 2018. Or was it June of 2018?
What I heard was over dinner last summer. That's what I remember. I could be wrong.
Oh, whatever. I thought it was about a year ago. Regardless, they have a private meeting, or maybe there's 4 people there, whatever it is. Bernie and Sanders in his apartment, and they're talking about how to win in 2020, and they're discussing how they're both going to be running, and now Warren has come out and said that in that meeting, Sanders told her that he believed that a woman couldn't be president, couldn't win the presidency of the election.
He's purported to have said that.
Right. She's claiming that. Warren is claiming this. Pocahontas. So.
Lizzie Borden.
Yeah, Lizzie Borden. I like that one better. So this is her campaign is coming out, right, and saying this. And Bernie's campaign comes out immediately and says, that's a fucking lie. That's not really what's going on. He never would have said that because, look, obviously Hillary Clinton got 3 million more votes than Trump, so why would...
That's so funny. Sorry to interrupt, but when I heard that, I'm like, she won the popular election by 3 million votes. How fucking dumb would he have to be to say that?
Right.
That's the first thing that went through my mind. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, so I don't believe for a second that he actually did say that, right? And that was his response. So now their campaigns are kind of going at each other. And the way I understand it is actually now Bernie's call script is kind of gone on the offensive against Warren specifically, saying, she's my second choice, but really, yada, yada. And these two people, by the way, are the two socialists in the Democratic camp right now. So they kind of have
and supposed to have been close friends.
Right. So now they're either going to fall to the wayside. One of them is going to be just, a superfluous version of the other, or they, can go on the offensive and take the lead.
I always believed one of them was going to supplant the other either way.
They have to, right? Yeah, they have to at some point because they're the same candidate.
Yes.
It's except for in their personalities. So that's what this story is interesting.
And even their policies are significantly different.
But, well.
But they're perceived to be the same thing.
Sure. Yeah. So that being said, now, or they just had the debate. Was that yesterday?
Monday.
Wait, Tuesday. Sorry. Wow. Time flies. So in the debate, talking about the manipulative, lying press, enemy of the people press. Driving Chris to drink press. The, what is it? What the fuck? The moderator? Is that what it's called? Yeah, the moderator asks Bernie Sanders a question about all this whole hubbub, this shit going on. So she says, Bernie, you claim that this never happened, that you didn't say that Elizabeth Warren is lying. More or less, that's the question. I don't think she uses the word lying, but the question is clearly stating, if you say yes to this, then you are, you're making a point that calling Elizabeth Warren a liar. So he says, correct. I did not say that. That is not the truth, whatever it was. And then immediately following that, the moderator turns to Elizabeth Warren and says, what did you say when he said that to you? So she didn't even acknowledge the fact that Bernie denied that this even happened. So it was just like, his claim doesn't matter. This really happened. What did you say when Bernie told you that a woman couldn't win president? And like the audience audibly laughed, and he was just like, fuck. So they're, again, she didn't even bring it up. She asked the question. Why even bother fucking saying anything?
Well, and then her answer, she said one or maybe 1.5 sentences that kind of addressed it, and then immediately went into something completely different. She is a total freaking spin doctor.
Politician, hard pivot. Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
She pivots on everything, and she is good at it. Or she defaults to it without a thought.
Yeah.
I can't stand her. I cannot stand her.
She
is so insincere.
She's disgusting to me. And the thing that came out was, so after this debate, again, just to finish up the story, I actually might have advanced further, but this is where my information ends. So they had the cameras catch. Warren walks right up to Bernie, and Bernie kind of sticks his hand out, whatever. And he's like, oh, gonna shake her hand, and she just starts. She doesn't do that. She just like
fakes him.
Has her hands like this. She's like, yada yada yada, saying something, and he like puts his hand down, and then he's like, huh, yeah, and then they split up, walk away. That other candidate, who's kind of a fucking nobody, says something to Bernie, and then they split ways. That guy was interviewed, and he said, I didn't hear shit. All I was doing was saying goodnight to both of them, and I didn't hear a single thing. And no one knew what was said.
On Wednesday morning.
Right. So nobody knew what was said, but now they have the audio of it. And
Andy was there.
Andy totally heard everything, by the way. It was just super awkward, so he didn't say shit. But Warren...
Pussy, sorry.
Yeah, you fucking pussy. Why would you hide that? You're like trying to hide...
That was juicy.
That is juicy. And you can like... If you're a nobody, who is this guy?
Right.
What's his name? Tim fucking Steinbeck or something?
I don't know.
What the hell is his name? And any of the pictures of them are obviously just going to say...
John Steinbeck?
John Steinbeck. I think that's what it is.
No, that's the guy that wrote
author. Whoops. Yeah. Not John Steinbeck. He might not know what a pterodactyl is, but I don't know that. Either way.
He could be John Steinbeck.
Yeah.
The hell do I know?
Either way, this guy
pretty fucking
just hid this juicy ass story. but it didn't matter because it came out. So Elizabeth Warren comes right up to Bernie and she says, "I believe you called me a liar on national television." Isn't that what she said?
Yep.
Or on TV, whatever it is. And he just goes,
She said national
What?
television
Yeah.
or
What?
national TV.
yeah. And she says, "I believe you called me a liar on TV." And he says, he said, let's not do this right now. We're not doing this right now. And she says something, yada, yada, yada else. And he says, "No, you called me a liar. We're not doing this right now." And then
He walked around.
walks away. The other guy, the weird third wheel guy goes, Bernie, I don't mean to interrupt. I don't want to get in the middle of it. I just wanted to say hi." And he's like, "Yeah, great. Hi." And they walk away. So it's perfect.
I couldn't disagree more with almost every policy and or thing Bernie Sanders stands for. But personally, I'm totally fond of the guy.
I kind of like who he is. He kind of stands for underdogism and like fighting corporate culture to an extent.
And he is, I believe, 100% genuine. He's been consistent throughout the years. He's just the real deal. He's a likable person.
Yeah, I just don't see him as nefarious, right? Duplicitous.
Yeah.
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 Especially
Again, from a policy standpoint, I couldn't disagree with him more on certain things, but he's a good guy.
and
He's a guy until he signed his book deal, his net worth was nothing. He's like he was so I'm not going to say poor because he certainly wasn't poor, but the amount of money he had to have gotten into the 70s and have been in Washington since 1990, I think.
without taking a bribe, that's where
It's
you
like
get.
a miracle. Everybody gets rich in Washington except Bernie Sanders. I'm like, this guy's the real deal.
And I think we've spent enough time bashing Bernie on the show, but in this story, like in the light of this story, I think Chris's favorite woman on the planet is Elizabeth Warren. So
Lizzie Warren, 40 wax.
When you compare the two of them, especially like this, when they're so intricately involved or intimately involved, it's like to me, it's so fucking obvious that she's a manipulative bitch. And when that comes out, that video of them two, clearly she believes her own bullshit, right? So when she walks up to him and she's saying, "You called me a liar on TV," either that's a stunt and you knew that those mics were hot and you knew that was going to get caught up, or you're buying your own story and you sincerely believe what you're saying.
She doesn't buy her own story. She's a fucking evil liar.
So
spin doctor.
So if that's the case, then that little interaction there is far more indicative of underlying scheming than anything else.
I would say it's possible she forgot she was mic'd. She was all pissed off.
Yeah.
But whatever. She does not get the benefit of the doubt from me.
Maybe here's her thinking. So if she comes up to him and she's saying that, like, "You did say this. You're calling me a liar, yada, yada, yada." It's like, it's just like a mistaken memory. Like you just misremembered how the evening went. And she's totally,
Or there was a conversation that went something like Bernie saying something along the lines of,
"You think a woman could win for president?"
Exactly.
Yeah,
or this country's having such a love affair with Donald Trump. Do you think a woman is our best choice given all scenarios versus a man? And just putting it out there and trying to have a conversation about, hey, let's get this White House back.
Yeah. I never said that. Oh.
Right.
Yeah, no,
Because the question
what the
was
fuck?
never,
We talk about that all the
was-
time.
Yeah, the question was never asked of the guy. Was there any comment made about a woman's ability to beat Trump versus a man?
Right. And you could even say, fuck that. I don't care what was said or what wasn't said. Do you believe that now? No. Thank you, Bernie. Now, Elizabeth, what did you say when Bernie asked, "Don't do that"? That, to me, blew my fucking mind. How they just skipped over it like he didn't say a word. Why did you even ask him that if you were just going to disregard his fucking answer?
Yeah, good point.
What were you expecting him to say? Yes, I did say that, and I regret it. Whatever.
Well, and then they didn't challenge her and say you didn't answer the
Of course.
question. Come on.
No. There was no. They didn't. You didn't. Oh, well, I guess. Yeah, you're right. But I mean, there was
That's
no
their
question
job.
to be asked. Yeah. Oh, fuck.
No, but when she answered,
Yeah, she did a spin.
she totally pivoted, spun, whatever, and they didn't say, hey, okay, so your 2 minutes is up, but we asked you,
We're trying to do this more
More or
often.
less a yes or no question.
Yeah.
You didn't answer that. We'll give you one last chance to answer the question.
Yeah. The last 40 years, we haven't been so hot on keeping you guys to your answers, so we're trying to turn things around. We're going to add 30 seconds for you to fucking bring it back.
We'll give you 5.
Yeah.
So you could just back these people into corners and make them look so bad and say, so
that's what I love about...
Here's what I'd like. If I were the moderator, I'd love to say something like, okay, so tell me, yes, I'm going to answer the question, or no, I'm not. After which you either do or you don't.
I'm not going to answer your question.
And then she has, right. And then if she says that, she looks so bad, or any of them. Set this scenario aside. Just the people who, just all the spin doctor pivot masters. Come on, man.
I can tell you, here's how I usually go. Hey, you know what, Chris? That is a great question. Something that I always think about when, I think about something like that is, why don't we have, better health, whatever the fuck it is. You could just go right into something else. What was that? Not even a full sentence, and I already changed the subject of my comment. It's
That's a great question, which drives me to my major concern, which is...
Exactly. What was that, 7 words, 10 words? Yeah. That's a great question, right? That's a great question. Is always something to be wary of. But this to me is just so fucking... And you know what? That your comment about Bernie, just be like, you like him. He just doesn't seem to me like he would be like wrapped up in that. Like he'd be like... I think Warren is clearly the evil one in this situation.
I thought she was evil. She fucking claimed to be Native American and still has gotten out of it.
Wait, I want to bring this up. Keep talking about that for a second. Remind people about that.
It's the bar card thing. She wrote it in. It wasn't a box check. Somebody please get in front of her and say, okay, if you believe you're Native American and there are all these stories that were passed down through the generations of your family, what's your favorite story? And watch her fucking squirm.
When my grandfather killed the Tonka. The
Tonka.
Yeah.
Right. What's your favorite story? Tell me your favorite story. So, if there was all this Indian lore that led you to believe that you were Native American to the degree that you actually hand wrote on your bar card after race, and then there's a blank line, you wrote American Indian. That's pretty fucking certain. You didn't check a box. You actually hand wrote in the words that came out of your brain, right? In ink. Okay, are you laughing at something that came up?
No, I'm laughing at that, but this is also funny
so
as fuck.
I'll finish this thought. So, or ask her, what Indian artifacts did you have as a little girl in your bedroom? Or if you didn't, what was in your house? Then
or what have you donated from your family?
And then watch her squirm. And then ask her, so if this was such a part of your family heritage and things you talked about and reminisced about, what were some of the rituals that you observed during the course of a year? Are there national holidays or, are there powwows, or what did you do with your family that, led you to believe that at the University of Texas and at Pennsylvania and I think at Harvard too, where you made claims about Native American heritage and where you hand wrote in your bar card these things like, what were some of the things that your family did? And watch her fucking squirm, because I guarantee you, without lying, she wouldn't have an answer for either of the three.
I don't see any situation where she squirms, because she just does that shit where you just fucking you ignore and you pivot. Ignore, pivot, hard pivot. It's just like a fucking... You don't... To me, the one thing that sticks out is...
Which to me makes her more the evil sorceress.
Yeah. It's like Hillary Clinton all over again, but the deeper we go, the more
I think she's worse.
Well, the more you see about just how fucking manipulative she is. The Pow Wow Chow cookbook, do you remember that?
I don't.
She entered a recipe into a cookbook called Pow Wow Chow, which is like Native American recipes.
Just making it better.
And it was like cold clam chowder or some shit. Like crab. Like what kind of Native American... Like what tribe eats crab? What?
The Baltimore tribe.
Yeah, the Maryland tribe. Right.
Maryland crab cakes.
Yeah, but it's like you... And she signs her name like Elizabeth Warren Cherokee or whatever the fuck it is.
No.
I think so, yeah. But it's... I was trying to find it.
She affiliated herself with the tribe?
I believe so, yeah. Oh, yeah. why the Cherokees and indeed all people could taste my wish to disavow Warren.
Oh, you have it up there?
No, this is just a story about. This is a Washington Post story. It's just talking about the recipe. So she did assign herself to the Cherokee Nation, but to me, it just is very, very, very indicative of someone who just fucking lies to get what they want.
Earlier in the week, as I was hating on her, I pulled back up her apology on YouTube after this. She didn't even apologize for what she did. She said, I apologize for the confusion I caused and the something. She basically, in so many words, said, I apologize for having gotten caught. She didn't say, you know what, there wasn't sufficient DNA, there wasn't this, there wasn't that, it wasn't right, I was wrong. I apologize for some fucking bullshit. And it was like 2 or 3 sentences, and she pivoted to, and this was at some deal where she had, Native American elders, and they were talking about whatever.
I kind of remember this apology.
It was awful.
But the shit about her DNA test was that the whatever the DNA they sampled was, they used markers that were also like Hispanic/Mexican markers. So it's because of uncertainty in lineage, right? That they chose these other markers. That could just mean that you have some Hispanic or whatever.
They squeezed in between borders, yes.
Yeah.
And it was more Hispanic than like Eskimo.
Yeah, right. And I just fucking God. And what was the Trump thing where he said he's like, I'll donate $1 million to charity if you take a DNA test and prove that you're Native American? And then she did it, and he was like, who fucking cares?
So, yeah. You think that's good?
I think that's just so funny.
That's very Trump-esque.
I think that's so fucking funny.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the only thing. If Trump were smart, he could have gotten some mileage out of this, which would have been, if you had told me you're taking the DNA test before you were taking it, then I'd have ponied up the $1 million. But you didn't, because it says to me you weren't sure how it was going to come back.
Yeah, you didn't announce
so
it.
I'm not. So I'm not. The bet's off. When it was a secret to begin with, until you knew the hand you were dealt, no.
We talked about that.
Poker doesn't play that way.
Yeah.
You don't get to. You don't force me to lay my hand before you get to make your bet.
Yeah.
Which is essentially in poker, semantics, how this kind of played.
I think we were still doing this when that actually happened, right?
We did, yeah. I brought this up before. If you were so freaking sure,
you would have told people you're doing it
said,
before
I'm doing a DNA
results.
test to shove this on all your fucking doubters' faces.
Yeah.
And she didn't do it.
Oh, God. I can't fucking wait for 2020. Oh, man, it's so close. What, 9 months?
You want the election or you want the Democratic primary?
I just want the debates, dude. I just want fuck the primary. Who cares? I just want there to be a final victor, and then I want them to just go at it. Trump is going to eviscerate whoever it is.
It depends.
Biden and his dumb stuttering ass. Did you see that in the debates?
No. I fell asleep and I didn't record it. Damn it. It's the third time I failed to record it.
Come on, Chris. Jesus.
There's a lot of people who want to not vote for Trump. But there's a lot of people who will not vote for somebody who's substantially socialist. One of whom is me. So
yeah, well, neither will I. But here's the thing.
Yeah, but I won't vote for Trump.
But my mind's made up.
I'll write myself in again.
You're never going to win,
This
Chris.
would be the third consecutive election that I've been voted for by at least one person.
I'll vote for you next time. Then you have 2 votes.
All right, cool. Yay.
I can't say that. Maybe now. We'll see how it turns out. But
one thing I did want to touch on, and I don't think I put it in here,
Batwomen.
was the upcoming election. People say, so if I write myself in or if I vote Libertarian or for whomever that's not a Democrat or a Republican, they say it's a wasted vote. It's not a wasted vote. Because they say that there are people who don't want to eat a Republican shit sandwich and they don't want to eat a Democrat shit sandwich, that they're going to vote for a sandwich that is palatable to them, even if the candidate is clearly not going to win. So what's going to happen if the Democrats lose again? They're going to say, or I would think they would say, light bulb, we got to nominate somebody who's fucking electable.
Like,
well,
who?
Hillary was electable, so
Isn't
here's
just
what's
she the
crazy.
worst, though?
I heard somebody talking about this, and I don't know if I agree with it. But the woman, she was wearing red. She's younger. She's probably
Tulsi.
No.
Oh.
She was in the debate on Tuesday night, and she was the smartest, most well-spoken, most thoughtful, most moderate person on that stage. She was very smart, and she made some very good points. But she's like,
white
she has
woman?
like 4%. Yeah, she's white with dark hair.
Klobuchar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's smart.
There's some juicy stories about her, like being physically abusive to her staff. Apparently, she pushed a woman down a flight of stairs or some shit.
No.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's
Chris is like,
maybe
fuck it.
that's makes it a little more Trump-esque.
It's not a helicopter ride, that's for sure. At Pinochet, but I would like.
I think she was the most well-spoken one on that stage, and I forget what point she made, but I was like, wow, she's kind of smart.
I would have, remember Tulsi, obviously.
Of course.
I love Tulsi, and something about her that Malice keeps bringing up that reminds me why it's important.
Except for the fact that you think she led you to believe she was shooting a gun when she was tending to wounds.
Oh yeah, except for that. Yeah, what the? Okay, I have to look that up right now. But while I'm looking that up, she's anti-war, which is like a big thing to me. And I don't know how much you care about that. I know you're kind of in favor of the
I love war.
Globocop thing.
War. Bring it on. Guns, blood, explosions.
Service record. Bam.
I'm a hawk.
Warhawk. I know that we've kind of talked about this on the show, and you've I would say summarized being in favor of the U.S.'s position as Globocop. God,
Yes.
she's beautiful too.
Well put.
And I don't know that especially
Globocop.
because
Did
of
you
this
make that up?
Soleimani shit. What?
Did you make that up?
I don't know. I'm sure
I
that
like
somebody
it.
said that before.
Globocop.
Instead of RoboCop.
I put those two together.
Globocop. It's just a very apt. It just makes sense. But I don't really. It's okay, this is relevant because of the Soleimani shit. Like we killed this fucking guy who may have very well deserved it, and regardless of that, people are saying that. Not people are saying, but Iran is claiming that they shot that plane out of the sky because it was like active war zone. You know, they're like, we shot this plane down because we just bombed the Americans and whatever, which is a fucking lie, obviously, right?
Okay.
That plane took off from Tehran. It's not.
From their fucking commercial airport.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, with 176 people on it, and some of their own. 11.
That story could be true, and it's true because there was a total fucking dunce at the button. But anyway, sorry.
No, I just think that people dying is a bad thing, right?
Death sucks.
Death is bad. Bad. Why continue to instigate and shit like that? I just don't.
I'm not sure I follow.
I just like the idea that Tulsi's an anti-war person, and that's like I would like to see that from a candidate, at least once.
Well, okay. So I like being Globocop.
Yeah.
And I forget what president it was, but some sort of analogy / cliche about, the best way to avoid a fight and or a war is, have the biggest stick.
Yeah.
Right? Have the aircraft carriers, have the F-35s, have the stealth bombers, have, the Navy SEALs and the special ops and the trained forces, and to do more surgical types of things to minimize escalation, and two, to just have the superior forces technology and flat out fucking raw power to avoid it. And then if and when you need to, again, surgical strikes. So
I would like, in the Middle East, obviously there's ties there because of the oil. By the way, I filled up my gas tank today, $2.50.
Nice.
$2.49. I like that. Yeah. Take that.
And fracking's down.
Oh, really?
A little bit.
Huh.
I mean, that's not any new news.
No more fire water.
Right.
What the fuck? Oh, okay. So we're in the Middle East doing all that shit, right? Our ties there are economic. It's not like why don't fuck, like if you want to have an active military force and you need to make sure that those guys are trained and have experience to make sure that they're even a good force, right? If you have a military force that's huge and a bunch of guys that are just like Delta farce, you're going to lose that war 10 times out of 10 because you just don't have dudes who have combat experience. Why don't you go to fucking Africa where there's, the RAF are killing innocent people like by the boatload, right? Their village, they're cutting people's arms off, all this horrible shit where it's just like anarchy and civilian. They're just killing each other. I would rather see Africa saved than the fucking fucked up Middle East, right?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And just because there's an economic tie there, it's like we have a selfish interest to get the fucking oil.
There's not any oil in Africa.
Right. So those people are shit out of luck to benefit from, the wayside of American military industrial complex.
That's
right.
I think so. Something I gotta. Yes.
Why don't you just go into the diamond business? There you go. Boom.
I was gonna say the only thing they have is diamonds and
gold,
whatever. And there's one other like super.
Saffron. No, that's Mexico.
There's one of the metals, one of the precious metals that gets mined out of the.
Well, in X-Men, it's adamantium.
Adamantium.
Like what Wolverine is made of.
Okay. His claws.
It's his whole skeleton.
It is?
Yeah.
I've only seen one. I've seen Logan. Okay, so on here, insincere news update. This one's huge. And I don't remember if it was NBC or CNN rather or MSNBC. But, and you may have heard this. And the funny thing is they sold this and then their own beat reporter came on with the detail.
And it didn't corroborate?
Yes, they did not align, and nothing was said. So the two talking heads on the morning show said that sources say that Trump approved the what is it, Soleimani? Is that
Soleimani.
Soleimani. That Trump approved the assassination of Soleimani in July of last year, 7 months ago.
So they've been trying to do it for 7 months?
No, they're saying he approved it.
Okay.
He approved his assassination, like almost verbatim. He approved Soleimani's assassination 7 months ago. And they said it probably 3 or 4 times. And then they said, we have our White House correspondent, so-and-so, and she's going to explain it further. So, I was flabbergasted. So she comes out and she said, yeah, so what happened was when Iran downed the drone, I don't know if you remember, but they shot down a sizable drone. And I
remember that. Yeah.
And it came down, and I don't know if it came down in Iran or close. But
and they
said,
collected it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they said it was in our airspace. We shot it down, blah, blah, blah. And we said it wasn't in your airspace, and it was illegal, and I don't know. And, it was her investigation surfaced, and one of the other news reporting agencies said the same thing. They also said the same lead-in bullshit that he approved it 7 months before. But anyway, it was CNN and MSNBC. So their White House correspondent says, so 7 months ago when the drone was shut down, there were military advisors and defense administrators and whatever, DOD guys that all came in and said, so he's like, you need to do some sort of proportional response. And they said, there's this guy, and he's been on the radar for 10 plus years, and his name is Soleimani, and he has the blood of tens of thousands of people, if not more, on his hands, and hundreds of, if not thousands of Americans, both, covert guys and soldiers, responsible for, what do they call them?
Like IEDs.
No. IEDs, but what do they call the support groups? There's a name for it now.
The CUDs for? I don't know what you...
No, there's
Joint ops?
No. Like there's satellite groups, whatever. Anyway, And they said, and his name's Soleimani. And he said, I don't think it's proportional to kill this guy
After they blew up a robot.
after they just took down a drone.
Yeah.
He said, so no, I don't want to kill a guy. It's not the right response. It's too excessive of a response. But if this guy's that bad...
Why haven't we killed him already?
No, he said if this guy's that bad, should something else happen in Iran where we need a proportional response and he might be an appropriate target and it might be, the justifiable thing to do, then let's leave that on the table for the future. So that's what he did. That is the most responsible and presidential thing I've ever heard of Trump doing or saying, in my opinion, at least in terms of foreign affairs. So not only did he not approve it, he
sat on it.
Well, no, but he denied it. They said, drone
that's what
down,
I mean. He had
kill
the
guy.
opportunity and he said,
and
let's hold... Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He said, but if something happens in the future, remind me. They sold that as he approved it 7 months ago.
That's a lie.
No,
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lie.
Yeah.
He denied it. They recommended it. He said, no, I don't agree with it. Remind me of the guy. Should it be the appropriate thing to do at some point in the future?
Wait, so what was this in response to this time?
Well, I believe that it was the embassy.
Oh, yeah.
Where they took out the lobby, but he said it was because of like clear and present danger or imminent threats on other embassies, and
that makes sense.
Now there's question as to whether or not that's true. And guess what? You can't fucking declassify everything.
Yeah, there's so much shit going on in the background. Yeah, there's so much fucking going on in the background.
So what were the clear and present dangers? Oh, why don't I just fucking puke all our foreign affairs out so everybody knows, right?
Who all of our guys are, by the way. If I spill all this information, you're all going to know who our fucking ops
somebody
are.
Opened their mouth. Maybe it was a congressman.
No, it was Trump about the laptop bombs.
Was that it?
Yeah.
But they're like, okay, dude, you just fucking informed him. Now we got to go back to the drawing board. Yeah, I forget who it was. But tell us what the clear and present danger was. Okay, why don't we just telegraph the people to revamp all these different plans so that we can no longer foil them? Fucking dumb.
Who's the guy that I can neither confirm nor deny? Who is that? President... or was that just...
I remember, I can hear the soundbite, but I can't remember the situation.
Is that not the FBI guy? J. Edgar Hoover.
I can't remember.
Who cares? But that's that's what that is.
He approved it 7 months ago. Really? No, he denied it. Oh, fuck. So fucking...
The lying fucking media. They really are the enemy of the people. I believe that.
Right now, and none of them are good. And Joe Scarborough, the day before yesterday, called Mitch McConnell Moscow Mitch.
Moscow Mitch?
Yeah, that's some unbiased reporting.
I'd say so. I thought his name was Cocaine Mitch.
Whatever.
Mitch.
Moscow Mitch.
Wait, who called this? Who said that?
Joe Scarborough, Morning Joe.
Scarborough.
Joe and Mika.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude. You kissed a guy.
Mitch McConnell is having a fucking field day, by the way, with all this impeachment stuff. He's loving every second of it. It's like he's on the brink of orgasm constantly.
Somebody said that, I wish I remembered the details now. It was just today. I forget, but it was something with the alignment. If Trump somehow failed to remain in alignment with Mitch McConnell, and Mitch thought that it would threaten his position and the Republicans' position as majority leaders in the Senate, that McConnell would throw Trump under the bus in a heartbeat. I thought that was a very interesting thing to hear.
Who said this?
One of the news reporting agencies. And I want to say I heard it in my car. I don't remember where.
What makes you take it as fact?
I don't.
Oh, I was going to say.
That's what I said. It was a very interesting thing to hear. Very intriguing.
I don't think that they would do that.
I don't know. I think Mitch McConnell values him and his position in the Senate way more than he cares about Trump.
But doesn't Trump, having Trump in office, doesn't that empower McConnell? Even more so?
It empowers the party. It doesn't empower his personal position.
But by having that, yeah, but...
And what if Trump so totally vilified the entire country that they're like, fuck it, let's elect Democrat senators, let's elect a Democrat Senate, let's have a Democrat House. Fuck all of them. Mitch McConnell would lose his mind. And I could see him saying, fuck this. Self-preservation, fuck that guy. Find a boss, throw him under.
If it gets that bad, maybe. But for me right now, I see Trump as a huge win for the Republican Party just on the fact, even after, let's say it's 2024, he's on his way out. And the new guys coming in and they're saying, look, these are Republican, ideals that we just had this fucking rampant success on. And a guy like Donald Trump, who has had no experience in politics, someone who's a fucking waste on life, whatever you could say about him, this dude who's a failure as a human being was a success as a president because he aligned with the Republican Party and because we have good ideas. Vote for us. Now, if you have Trump as a failure, there's nothing. I guess you could just do the flip side and say that's because Trump's a fuck up and an idiot.
So the wild card is, what does he do for the next 7 years, right? Yeah.
Or 10 years.
Or 10. Well, no, the next 7.
I'm joking.
Right, the last 3 have been pretty damn good. Anyway, I just think it's interesting. The whole thing is interesting. It's all interesting. It's all fucked up and interesting.
It's going to be the most. I think there's nothing's going to happen. I think it's 54 Republican senators or 53 senators. How many are there?
54. 2 or 3. 53? No. 51, right? 2 for each state and 1 for D.C. Is that right? I don't remember.
Do they need a? What do they need? 2/3 majority to impeach?
Yeah. Yes.
There's no fucking
might
chance.
Be 3/4.
There's no chance.
No. He's not going to get impeached.
No, there's nothing.
Unfortunately, this is a trial by political party, not by truth.
Yeah, and
which is fucked up. Because I'm a constitutionalist, and that's fucked up.
And McConnell came out and said as much. He's like, he's like, Pelosi, whatever, has been holding this down for 4 weeks. They finally sent everything over or whatever. And she had like a party, did you see that?
Well, I'm shaking my head and agreeing with you because the impeachment was a political process.
Yeah.
So now the trial is going to be a political process, and it's like this offset of ironies and kind of not injustices, but ajustices, I guess, if that's a word.
Yeah.
That are just offsetting and whatever.
It's despicable. Well, McConnell pointed out as much. The thing that I like about what he said is, he said, quote unquote, this is the gravest process in our American, our political system, impeaching a president who's potentially a danger to our country. Like this is in place to get rid of evil guys and stuff like that, not like, oh, we got him out of office. Yay. Like we can have fucking whatever it is, like success for Democratic Party, so.
If and when America impeaches and subsequently removes a president from office, that's a bad day in the history of this country, and nobody seems to realize that.
And it should not be used, listen to me, it's not to be used as a fucking tool because you lost the election and you're upset about it. Because you think, oh my God, this is a tragedy. We lost the election. We need to have our guy in the fucking chair. You lost the election. It doesn't mean that you get a round 2 and you just get to take advantage of this fucking this thing that's in place to get real bad guys out of office. Someone who's committed high crimes and misdemeanors. It's not she's handing out souvenirs, he pointed out.
I think it's entirely possible that he committed high crimes and misdemeanors, but that's not what's being looked at here. No,
and even Malice pointed out a good part where it says, Pelosi said something. She's like, it's not the Senate is proving that they cannot clear him of wrongdoing. And Malice goes, exactly, you're right. They can't clear him of any wrongdoing. Their only job is whether or not he should be removed from office or he should stay in office. So if he shoplifted, he's still committed wrongdoing. It's not their job to say he is cleared of wrongdoing. It's their job to say, I don't give a fuck if he stole a bag of chips. This is not something that he should be removed from office for. So it's not like, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't know the Constitution well enough to know if that's what it says, and I'm not sure just fundamentally if I agree with that anyway.
I agree with that. Whatever. You could say you could be tried for being a piece of shit.
To me, something that's consistent with and maybe congruous with being president of the United States is not being a criminal, and certainly not while you're in office.
I agree.
If you shoplift, and it were to be tried just in a court of law, and you were going to be convicted, then you're not suitable for office, and you should be removed.
At that point, okay, fair enough. I would say
If you don't, especially if you don't have the presence of mind, if you're a fucking kleptomaniac, if you don't have the presence of mind to put it to bed for 4 years, then you shouldn't be president of the United States, man.
Yeah, sorry. That's a good point. But it was a good example to me. It's not necessarily their job to.
No, when it
clear
gets
him
subjective,
of-
right?
Yeah.
So high crimes are arguably somewhat subjective.
Sure.
So to use that subjectivity, like you said, to right a proposed wrong, that's totally subjective.
Yeah.
I would say it's fucking wrong. It's not why the impeachment process is there, to your point.
Right.
So-
It's not there to fucking make up for when you screwed up your election because you picked a whack job and a crook, right?
And guess what?
To be your candidate.
The process is American citizens with votes elect a president
Regardless. Right.
via the process.
Yeah.
Americans voted the guy in. Live with him for 4 years.
Yeah, oh God, it's like the whole people just totally lost sight of that thing. Like I feel like impeachment's just been in the news so much. People just talk about it so much that it just became like a way to get him out, not like a way to correct this horrible crime that
Well, it
bring
is a
him
way to get a
justice.
president out, but you'd hope for the right reasons, especially when
Right.
it's fucking our representatives who are supposed to be there to, one, what they swear to do is uphold and protect the Constitution.
Yeah, but
That's what they're there to do.
Right.
You're not sent there to pass new laws, to whack down old laws by the other administration that wasn't on your side of the aisle. It's to uphold and protect the Constitution. That's what you put your hand on the Bible, right? The Book of Fables, and promise on these. What's the word? It was such a good word. It was going to go so well. But anyway, put your
I've
hand
never
on the
seen
Book
you
of
do that before.
Fables and swear to uphold your oath of office. Fuck. Really?
brain fart.
No, I'm really in all the politicians.
Oh yeah, fucking God, it's
Sacrosanct?
unbelievable.
Is that the word I'm looking for? Sacrosanct?
Sacrament,
No, sacrosanct. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
sacrilegious.
No. It's okay. Okay, Google. Okay, Google.
Saying not today.
Yeah, fuck you. Okay, Google. Definition of sacrosanct.
Here's the definition of sacrosanct.
This is fun.
Especially of a principle, place, or routine regarded as too important or valuable.
Yeah,
to
that's
be
the
Yeah,
word.
sacrosanct. Okay, so
So there we go. Sorry about the wasted 30 seconds.
just like staring at the phone.
No dead air. No dead air.
Yeah, but that, to me, it's just despicable. She's handing out these pens that are,
I heard about that. They have her
yeah.
name on it, right?
yeah, McConnell said,
you go.
emblazoned
Here
with
you
her
go.
golden signature.
Impeachment.
Yeah,
Impeachment prize.
I saw something
Door
fucking-
prize. Impeachment.
I saw something hilarious. It was Pelosi selling souvenir dentures with her signature on it.
You know what'd be beautiful? A white hat with red writing that says something that they want on there, some logo.
Oh, white hat. But Trump did white and red.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Something different.
See, he thought of that. But it's just so fucking sad to me. And then the people, like the midwits, it's almost like you can't be mad at them because you're stupid anyway. Like, are you going to hit... I think we've talked about this. If you have, like, someone who has a mental whatever issue, let's just say for the sake of whatever, let's just say Down syndrome, throw a rock at, like, someone and you hurt someone, you're like, going to fucking attack that kid? No, it's like, doesn't know better. So It's like you just don't know better. I can't be that mad at you. It's so sad that you've put your faith in this.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa,
Sorry.
that was gross. It was right in my ear, even though you're all the way over there.
Yikes. Ginger beer. Ale.
But it's white, not red.
Oh my gosh.
Or clear, not red. Never mind.
Excuse me.
It's sad to me that have I told you the quote, the people who need leaders are not fit to elect them? That thing, have we talked about that?
No, that's a great quote.
Yeah, it's and people who, what was it? No, whatever. There's a second part to that, but it's people who need leaders are unfit to elect them. So, if you can't do it on your own, why are you in a position to pick the guy who's going to do it for you?
Yeah, that is. I mean, that is so cliche. It's too cliche.
I think it's really accurate though. Like all these fucking morons who. Have you ever?
No, you know why? There's 330 million Americans, and one spot for president.
Yeah.
So just the sheer numbers tell you that you need voters.
I've been in favor of this since day one of this show. You know, it's been 30 weeks, 32 weeks now.
In favor of
separation. Divide the United States into two.
And would you have two presidents?
Fuck yeah.
Well, that doesn't solve the problem.
You could maintain a singular Supreme Court. You could figure it out.
Wait. You were just saying that the problem is that if you're not capable enough to be president, then you shouldn't be voting for president.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I was thinking about something else. You're talking about
the process twice.
I was jumping to what you said about you need the votes, but then we have two parties. You have two countries for each party. It's really easy.
Wait, so you're saying like let the South secede again?
No, people always fucking characterize my argument as that, and it's like, are you what you want slavery too?
Wait,
That's always the next thing.
Why is it two? Why wouldn't it be 3 or 6?
Because you want the libertarians to have their own thing. Cool, you can have it. If we're doing 2, why not do 3? But the point is, if you have 2 of them, they can be semi-equal.
Because part of the beauty of the process is the gridlock. Not this hyper-partisan, we can't even talk anymore.
You think there's still gridlock, or there's no gridlock in between parties? Like
no,
within
there's
parties?
total gridlock. There's hyper-gridlock. That's the problem. If you so much as look across the aisle, you get shot down in this fucking binary political situation we're in. You know? I mean, like the last of the good guys, John McCain is fucking gone.
You think John McCain was a good guy?
He reached across the aisle.
Oh.
I liked him as a politician.
And Satan just struck him down. He's somewhere in hell right now. But,
Yikes.
I shouldn't disparage a war vet. POW. I've heard something funny. I think this is also malice to bring him up for the 3rd time on the show. But
wait. So, do you see my point, though?
Yeah, I get it. But you'd
have 2 more fucked up countries.
I don't think that's true.
Who would devolve into totalitarianism?
No, because right now you have 2 parties that rely on compromise to accomplish their goals, which is a fucking. If you're going to rely on compromise,
that's a good process.
No, because you end up doing half. You do half measures for all of your political goals.
No, but the problem with what you're saying is, and what's good about the way things work is, you're creating a situation. The job of politicians, when they get elected, is not to go to Washington and to pass new and different laws.
Correct.
It's to go there and govern to the degree that we need to govern, right? So the idea is not go to Washington or whatever the capital city of whatever country it is and go there, and if it ain't broke, fix it till it is. That's not.
I'm not saying that either. I don't want that.
But that's what would happen.
I think you're wrong.
Because when you have one, that's why this country works. That's why we're not totalitarian. That's why we haven't devolved into total fucking, Stalinism, Maoism, right? Where just one set of ideals reigns and the whole thing devolves into fucking debauchery.
I hold that just because the blue flag and the red flag are the biggest flags. It doesn't mean that within those parties there's not going to be, you have, even, let's just divide the right for a little bit, or we could go whatever. There's the socialists. There's like the what the hell is it? The regular, you could just, I guess, call it a classical liberal Democrats, whatever, right? So you have all that stuff, and you'd still maintain a lot of that gridlock just because, all the, you could say there's the alt-right, there's neocons, there's the fucking paleocons, all those guys they're still infighting. There's a ton of infighting, and I think that you would end up accomplishing one first thing, like I mentioned, compromise is a huge failure on the political
you're
process.
You're talking about you'd have one nation that's too fucking liberal, and all they're arguing is the degree to which they're fucked up and liberal. Then you'd have another nation that's too conservative, and they're just arguing over the degree to which they're too fucking conservative, and they're both going to just crash and burn, in my opinion.
You really think so?
I do. I believe that with every fiber of my being.
I think that you would get a lot more good done. Because I think right now you end up with political. Right now we're fighting with both hands tied behind our back. Back's back.
But that's kind of good. See, here's the thing, right? It's a cliche. America's system's more or less fucked up, but it's the least fucked up of any system that exists. And I think your idea gets us closer to other models that have failed badly.
Okay, that's fair. It's a fair point. I guess I just like the idea that you wouldn't have to, bend down to your fucking opponent to get something done. That's half.
But that's the beauty of it, though. There's so much compromise that shit gets done very slowly, right?
Yeah. Okay. So that's okay. So the first problem is not that we need to split up. The first solution is to have politicians who don't go into office with a goal of passing new legislation and creating more fucking misery for the voter.
There's
or the taxpayer.
There's that, but I would say what's even more important than that is not sending people to Washington whose first and foremost objective is to displace the other party out of whatever respective branch of government you're in, right? Or whatever they're in. Because you saw it really started with Bush 43 is when it became really prevalent, where once he was elected into office, the focus of the Democrats wasn't to reach across the aisle and get shit done with the Republicans. It was
to just stop them.
Just get Bush out of office.
Yeah.
And then with Obama it got worse. Then Obama got elected, and what became the goal of the Republicans was to just either take over both branches of Congress and or get Obama, to neutralize him. And now with Trump, it's even worse. It's the worst it's ever been, to neutralize the guy. And so Trump got fewer than half the popular votes. He represents more people who didn't vote for him than did vote for him. And he's the president, but my point is, you go there and once elected, you're representing the country. So the idea is you work together to solve whatever problem is you're trying to solve. And again, you're not going there to pass new laws just to pass new laws. Say, look what I did.
No, I agree with your main point. Is that the more that the fuckers in Washington fight, the less that their booty's on my neck. I agree with that. That's a good. Yeah, the less that they're able to do, the easier my life is. That's a good point. I like that. I agree with that. I was raised like that, right? I just don't like this idea that some dude in fucking, in New York, or I don't know, I picked New York, it's not so bad. But let's say California. I like that better. Los Angeles.
So funny. I was going to say, then pick California, it's the same thing.
That whole fucking state could just
New
break
York
off
City and LA are
float
politically
identical.
Pretty similar.
Well, I think California, LA is a little bit more out there. But yeah, it's whatever. You end up with the same votes. Some dude who's voting there gets a say in how my life turns out because that guy that they vote for is going to end up determining and dictating policy. So that bugs me a lot. I'd rather have someone.
Well, that gets back to it's far from perfect, but it's the best thing anybody's thought of so far that could be implemented. You're right. I mean, that's democracy, mob rule, right? But that's why we're a republic.
But it's not anymore. It's like really not. Yeah.
It kind of is. I mean, it's set up that way.
They tried. I could say that. You could definitely say that.
It's maybe not functioning the way. I don't know. It doesn't say in the Constitution how it's supposed to turn out in terms of how you.
This is already America version like 3.0, by the way. Like they had, just the states, and then they had, the Articles of the Confederation, and they have, the Constitution. It's like.
Yeah, but that all happened in like 20, 25 years.
Yeah, like 100, 50 years, 100 years, whatever. But
no, like 25. But anyway.
Well, they went from the Articles of Confederation to the Constitution from 1776 to 1789.
Yeah,
13 years. But before that, it was just states, right? And then they became a union, whatever. Go from there, and you break up, and you join the Confederacy and all that shit. And
going back a couple of shows. I mean, I want to know more about the 17th Amendment.
Yeah.
And I agree that the states should be more autonomous, and it should, the federal government should play a lesser role in, that would get more, so it should play a lesser role in the lives of individuals and be more of concerned about federal things.
Yeah.
And then it would be more the kind of nation you're talking about, right? Because it would be all these states that are more self-governing. So if you don't like the politics of Michigan or Ohio or California or New York, go to Tennessee or Iowa, right?
Iowa.
And that was, I think, kind of the vision of the founders, which is the states will do their thing.
It was really Alexander Hamilton. He invented America.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an abolitionist.
What?
Did you know he was an abolitionist?
Do you think that that's going to upset me?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, he's like, what do you think of me? What, you wanted blacks to be free? What the fuck?
No, you got to think of Malcolm X right by it. No, I just threw it in there so we don't sound too white.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, abolitionist. That's good. Whatever. So he's even more of a hero than I thought he was. That's awesome. So, yeah, I like Hamilton.
Yeah, no. So getting back, I think that would get us closer to what you're talking about. Let the states be more autonomous, right? The federal government is responsible for like national security and some other stuff.
Even my locality, let that be more autonomous.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, even smaller than a state, but
yeah.
What are the vastest differences between states in terms of policy? Like marijuana is one thing, but who fucking cares about that? It's stupid.
Abortion.
That's a big one. What about firearms? How many states are there?
Firearms. There's still 19 states that corporal punishment is legal in.
Texas is one of them, no doubt.
They're all in the South.
Fuck yeah. The South will rise again. Not if they keep killing each other.
Yeah, it's like Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, Missouri, Arkansas, Indiana, ironically.
Really?
I can't name all 19, but those are the ones that come. But I remembering it was pretty much southern states. Anyway.
Those things, to me, it's not like I'm going to move states because they have capital punishment here. If like that's something that you're moving for, it's likely because you're a criminal, right?
Yeah, but you take you take your best basket.
Yeah.
Should you choose to move? Like I would. Okay, if the political landscapes were way different, who knows? But I don't see myself moving to a state for politics.
Unless it's taxes.
Yeah, and then it would have to be significant.
I'd move to Washington.
Yeah, I just read an article about California's losing people. California's losing people.
Exodus, baby.
Yeah.
So is New York.
Yeah.
And Jersey, right?
California's losing people hugely to Texas and Florida.
And I like Florida a lot because
They don't have the weather that California has, though.
No.
California has awesome weather. Anyway,
Horrible people.
whatever. The left coast.
Like that. I never heard that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So if we got back more to the states doing their thing, I think it would be where that'd be a better solution in my mind than to what you're talking about. Because wow, that's a big change, man. That would be a big change.
Yeah, it would.
Grenades are dangerous.
Yeah. Thunk.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Either way,
There we are. How are we doing on time?
it's almost 8:30. We've definitely. Yeah.
Are we past an hour?
Yeah, I think we started at 7:12 or something.
Time to kill it?
Yeah, fuck California. Just joking. Always trying to find something stupid to say. If that state would just break off and like float, what is that over there in the Pacific? I don't know what's on that side.
Would be like a closer version of Hawaii. How awesome would
I don't
that
want
be?
them to be that close. That's a little too close for comfort.
I'm just saying it'd be a big vacation island.
Yeah, that'd be actually kind of cool, right?
I don't know what Hawaii's politics are really.
Just they're like, how do we avoid being poor? It's like all of what that whole states thing is.
The one person that I mentioned last time that I knew that I believed to be Wiccan, she's in Hawaii.
Oh, living on a beach or something, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how she makes it. I know nothing about her life right now other than she lives like kind of in this mountainous area with a bunch of like hippie people, and I don't know how they make money or get by.
They're like stuck in the 70s.
But she's got
it's
a
just communes.
tan. She looks awesome. She's she's a year or two younger than me, and she looks like she's 25 years old.
Wow.
I'm just stress-free, sunshine, clean air.
Yeah, that's not. My parents were just there a little while ago, and more or less they just describe it as like impoverished, kind of drug riddled. But
I mean, it's very clear they're all hippies, and they
Yeah.
don't appear to have much money, but they also look pretty fucking happy and healthy.
I'm okay if California becomes that, and you stop affecting my life. That would be terrific.
Did you see somebody did a little kind of a mini documentary on the homeless in San Francisco, and how
Tent
bad
City.
the problem is, and that because they're so fucking perfectly woke that, you know, they won't even tell somebody don't shit on the sidewalk.
Hey, can you not do that? What the fuck you just say? Sorry, you're right. I'll walk away. I'll mind my own business.
Right.
Yeah. Damn straight. Wiping.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
That's a great closing note.
Don't shit on the sidewalk. People,
Don't shit on the
please.
sidewalk. Damn straight.
And leave that poor homeless guy alone.
Exactly. It's the right thing to do, apparently.
All
All right.
right.
That's it.
Peace.
Peace. We're out.
You didn't do your thing.
I'm doing the thing. Fade.
Boom.
Boom. Music. Boom.
Yeah.
Wait, no. There we go. And later on.
Peace out.
Peace out.